My name is TJ Gamble, and this is Brewzle. But what does it actually take to get one of these in the state of Alabama?
So all told, we spent about $400, but this is what we got.
That's a good whiskey. There's a lot going on there. All right, the intro freaking worked today. Hallelujah, it's gonna be a good day. Also, I turned the lights up just a little bit. Y'all let me know if y'all like this. You like the moodier, slightly darker version even better. We got a lot to try today, a lot to do, some new things we're gonna do today. So it's gonna be a little different. Unfortunately, Jill's not feeling well today. She was supposed to stream with me, but unfortunately, didn't work out. $2,200 bottle was crazy. Stay tuned, stay tuned. We're gonna be picking somebody probably next week to have a chance to win that bottle. So I do have all of my Irish whiskeys on the bar right here. I think they're all Irish. I just grabbed everything in that section. I think everything here is Irish, 11 of them. We're gonna get around to those. It is St. Patrick's Day, so we're gonna get around to those here in just a minute. I'm way behind on male whiskey. There's been a lot of male whiskey come in, and I feel like we should try some. So we're gonna get warmed up with that, hang out for just a little bit. We're gonna try those. While I'm trying those, we're gonna do a couple of new segments. We're gonna respond to some comments on YouTube. I think I've got a little better setup for that now. And we are going to rate your selection. So we've had several selections submitted. We're gonna have a look at those. I'm gonna see what their selections look like and what we think they should add to that selection. Fuzzy G, tip for the working intro. Man, I tell you what, it deserves a tip. It finally showed up to work. Oh, man. Need something to do and prove like Brewzle magic? YouTube notifies me about this. Well, we are here most Mondays. I say that, we'll not be here next Monday. I will be headed up to Kentucky doing some stuff, but I should be here the Monday after this next one, and you're going to want to be here for that one, I promise you. That's the one where we are going to attempt to give away the OFC. You need to be staying tuned, though, so you have a chance to come on and do that. The Infinity Barrel is still under works. I don't think we're going to dump anything in there today, unfortunately. I've been trying to organize some stuff. I'm just going to have to rip it. I'm just going to have to go for it. We're going to do it the old-fashioned way. So I'm not putting a camera in there. It's gotten out of, like, I came from a trip. I just dropped everything in there. It's a freaking disaster. This right here, though, let me get this poured, and then I'll give y'all a close-up of what we got going on here this evening. This is Circle City Straight Bourbon Whiskey, single barrel selection from the Whisk, selected by the Whisk. Let's see about that bottle cam right there. Look at that beautiful bottle cam. Now, I haven't tried Circle City yet. This is going to be the first little tasty taste here. At least, not that I recall. I've tried a bunch of stuff people hand me all the time. Smells nice. Now, I think Circle City is an NDP, non-distilling producer, and they source a bunch of stuff, right? And so this bottle could have come from just about anywhere, but it is 115.5 proof. It is 6 year, 11 month, and it was distilled in Ohio. 6 years from Ohio? Maybe a Middle West barrel? I don't know. Interesting, though. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. I was expecting a little more oak. Just looking at the color, like that's a super dark bottle. But definitely not over oaked. Eddie Van Winkle 10-year for $500. Should I buy it? The 10-year is not worth $500 to drink, but secondary market value, I mean, I think they're going for about $600, but that price has been steadily coming down. So I wouldn't buy one for $500. I wouldn't. But your monetary situation may be different. If you're just going to look at it and you're a collector, it's probably a fair price. If you're a drinker, not a lot worth $500, my friend. Man, that's kind of that quintessential caramel. Just a real hint of like a dark fruit, a little bit of kind of oaky barrel char and rye spice come through on the finish. Really well balanced, very nice whiskey. Ooh, that one's a good. I've got some other things from them I'm gonna have to try as well while we're at it. Trying to catch up with the chat a little bit here. Bring a toasted Circle City to Spillway. Never does hurt. What would I pay for a Van Winkle 10? I assume, Ash, is what you're asking. A couple $100, few $100 maybe, if I needed one. That's nice. And y'all let me know in the chat what you're warming up with this evening. Like I said, for those that are just joining, I have 11 Irish whiskeys. I'm going to try every one of them. It's been a while since I've had these Irish whiskeys. My palate has been evolving. I feel like St. Patty's Day is a good enough time as any to go back to these and give them a try. We are going to rate your selections. We have, I don't know, 5 or 6 selections folks have submitted we're going to get to. So, and we're going to talk about some comments. Joe Campy, brand new to bourbon, love Buffalo Trace products, but they're hard to find in my area. What are some similar alternatives? Joe, I don't know if you can find the Benchmark series, but that's definitely, that's Buffalo Trace. It's in that Buffalo Trace profile. I would probably go that route. Nothing is really quite as sweet or red fruit forward to my palate as Buffalo Trace. Maybe the closest that you might get, some Ben Holiday stuff, has some red fruit on it. You can also get it on some Heaven Hill products. Maybe try a McKenna 10 or something like that. But those are single barrels, so it really depends on the barrel. Maxwell got lucky and got the Peerless Bourbon in reserves. Congratulations. Honestly, that is an excellent, excellent pick. If I didn't have so much to try, I would join you in drinking that one. But that's a beautiful bottle. Honestly, one of my favorite picks we've done in a while. All right, more male whiskey. Let's see what that was so good. We got to try what they sent us here. Josh is a new Brewzleaholic, a new B team member. Well, I appreciate it, Josh. Thanks for joining. Well, these are small bottles. That's so fanciness here. That was unexpected. Oh, a glass. That's cool. Toss that over there and figure out how I'm going to get these out of here. Yeah, there we go. This one must be the good one because they didn't fill that one up. Either that or it leaked, and I don't see any sign of leakage. Appreciate it, Gilberto. Dusty Die like your Roman Man short today. Need to do an old fashioned with. We've done some Roman Man old fashions, not with their mix. I need their mix for sure. We did some Roman Man old fashions with some we picked up from the distillery in the past, and they're really good that way. Richard Nixon getting the party started. Definitely not a crook. All right, let's see if I can figure out what they sent me here. Get these tried. And then once I get through these, we hang out for a little while. We're going to start talking about some comments, rating some selections, drinking some Irish whiskey. Undisclosed Kentucky Distillery, 7.5 years. Okay, undisclosed. Undisclosed Kentucky Distillery, double oaked. They're not disclosing anything. Kentucky Distillery, 8-year. Okay. Barton, French oak. So they're not disclosing anything unless it's Barton. Another French oak. All right, so not a big fan of French oak stuff, but sometimes they get me, so we give them all a try. Gov Audit's got a Weller 12 for $64. I don't know if you can do much better than that. What's a fair price for a Michter's 10? Those are usually, what, $230-ish? Something like that. I could be wrong. Those MSRPs seem to be changing all the freaking time. I can't keep up with them. But anywhere around $250, I'm happy for that. That bottle's so good, I'm okay with that price. Cheers, call me old-fashioned. All right, this is, as I said, an undisclosed Kentucky Distillery, 7.5 years old, 120 proof from Circle City. Also, we're going to try something here in just a minute. We've got a video coming out tomorrow that is pretty different, pretty interesting. And I want y'all to try it, watch it if you get a chance. We had 3 patrons up to Old Dominick Distillery in Memphis. We gave them the opportunity to blend 5 barrels of whiskey. And some finished, some unfinished. And that video comes out tomorrow. I'm going to try the bottles, the winning 2 blends. We took the 2 winning blends and we actually had it produced. And those were available to patrons. Some of those are still available at brewzlepicks.com, I believe. I think it was like $90 for the pair for like 2 bottles. And they turned out fantastic. Like they're even better produced than they were when we tried them in the blend. So we're going to try those here in just a minute as well. James says, keep up the good work. Love watching your videos. Major Zero, can you pick the blender challenge bottles at Old Dominick? You can pick so those bottles we were just talking about, you can grab those at the Old Dominick Distillery starting today, as long as supplies last, because they were only 5 barrels, and I think we sold through a bunch of them Saturday. Will Molk got lucky and picked up a Woodford Double Oak from ABC, Virginia ABC for $200. Good deal. I mean, I don't think that's a terrible price. They're going for $180, $190 most places, so not a bad deal. I don't love the price of the bottle, but that's that's MSRP, right? I don't love the MSRP in general on that bottle, but it's delicious, and that's what it goes for. Like, that's not really a markup, so. Jordan, beep, beep, I'm a sheep. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Oh, that's nice. That's softer than the one we tried earlier. Sweeter. Like, honestly, that tastes more like a Green River to me. Maybe a Bardstown Green River. A lot of, like, orange peel, orange zest on that one. I really like that one. Yeah, it tastes like a lot of those Green River picks we've done. We're going to need a little infinity blend tonight, aren't we? If we're going to drink all the, like, this is 5, 6. I've got 11. We got to try those. We're going to be pushing 20. We better keep it light. How were the keys? The keys were fantastic. Had a great time. Picked some awesome barrels of rum, but also spring break with a bunch of South Carolina fraternity boys, which they weren't any problems, but man, those bars down there got busy quick. Clark says, appreciate you being a member for 16 months, Clark. When are we getting the Jack Daniels pick? Also, favorite old-fashioned mix. Typically, we're making our own old-fashioned here. There is one in there that's a premix that I thought was pretty good, but I can't remember the name of it. I may get a chance to go look at it in a bit. I may not. We've got more Jack picks sitting ready now that may be in the next release, Tennessee whiskey picks, but they're the Distiller Select picks we did a long time ago that have just arrived. The pick where we actually went to the distillery and did it, we get it when we get it. Like the Distiller's pick took 7, 8 months to get. So unfortunately, whiskey moves slow, but it's coming. And we'll have some Jack here pretty soon. Gee, sipping on some old Louisville 11 year. Nice. What distillery? I know old Louisville, but like, do you know where it was sourced from? Are the dates on your JD picks the barrel dates? So if it's like the neck tag, there's one we released that was like a neck tag, had a date on it. That was the moderator who picked that flavor profile. I forget what date that was, but something meaningful to them. Is the new Jack 12 worth $200? I think that's a good bit more than MSRP, but I like the Jack 12 enough to pay that for it occasionally. Seth, if Seth's in here, let Adam F know about the name tag. It was a wedding date. There you go. This is a double oaked. So I think this is similar to this one, but a double oaked. Dude, I got to keep going back. I want to not like it. Like it hits me with a little oak tannins, but then it finishes out so nice. That's actually very well done. Nice balance to it. It does taste like something similar to this, but the orange peel is kind of just destroyed a bit by the double oak. Really nice bottle though. Have any of y'all ever had anything from Circle City? Y'all need to let me know. I'm trying to hurry up and get through these real quick. I want to try all these before we get into talking about some. They have curated a list of comments on videos for me to respond to. Hopefully they're not mean comments. I don't know. They may be mean, they may be good. I don't know. I haven't looked at them. But I'm going to try those, and then we're going to rate y'all's selections while I drink Irish whiskey. Oh, God, that was not a good idea. So we got the whiskey safe in there, and we were moving it in, and it crushed my hand about 2 weeks ago, and I forgot about it, maybe a week and a half ago. I forgot about it till I just slapped that cap down right on where it crushed my hand, and apparently it still hurts. Undisclosed Kentucky Distillery 8-year. Christopher, I'm a bit newer to the channel. The bottle's so quick. What tier do you need to be able to? So the free tier was all gone, Christopher. That we sold the most number of bottles in this past drop than we've ever sold. But what was complexity was we had the old Dominicks that I'm about to try, which were sold as a package deal for less than some of the single barrels. And so we had more bottles, but it was not as a variety of selections. So our goal is for every tier to, there might not be much left at free tier, but every tier to have access to something interesting. We failed a little bit on that. The patron has grown a little bit since the last, or quite a bit since the last drop. I think more of those people participated, even at some of the lower tiers. And then, we will do, like, believe me, the next drop will be bigger. Our goal, and we've been like the last 4 drops, maybe. I'll have to think about exactly all, but the last 3 drops or so have been about right, like about the right number of bottles were available all the way through. This one was a little different because of the big, 2 5-barrel blends, and we just didn't have the numbers exactly right. So we will work to get better. But like, at the 10 proof tier, you should have access to some fun stuff. Free tier, it might be gone. But in previous, because it goes through all the tiers, and then it hits open season, and then it goes free tier. Half the bottles sold in previous drops happened in open season, which is about perfect. Like, everybody had a chance to get stuff. That means only half the stuff sold through all of the tiers, and then the open season happened and people were able to snag more bottles. This time, unfortunately, it was all gone before it got to open season. So we'll do better. It'll be a bigger drop. Ty with the super chat. First one, if you forgot to put your message in there, Ty, be sure to tag me, hit @Brewzle when you post your comment. You don't have to super chat it again. I'll try to read it if you meant to leave a message, but I appreciate the support. This one's okay. It's kind of similar vein. It's got a little extra fruitiness on it. I think the oak, I feel like that barrel would have been a little better a year ago. It's pretty good though. It's pretty good. All of these have been really good. I need to find out what these distilleries are, these undisclosed Kentucky distilleries. Then we're going to try some Barton. Anybody here like Barton? Any big fans of Barton's? Bigger. We're going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. We've got a ton of barrels coming, and we're buying more every single month. So we're gonna keep getting those drops as big as we can. Tim Lewis, most recent patron, may be more interesting to read. Most recent patron. Oh, the tier changes. Now, we made that decision. Honestly, we made that decision before this last drop. We told everybody it was coming, changes were coming. Had we waited till this drop happened, we probably wouldn't have changed anything. But we had it right for 3 drops in a row. we wanted to allow, a lot of folks have been asking to be able to change tiers. So we allowed it. Yeah, I don't love that. No. It has some things I like about it. It has a harshness through the mid palate. This is another undisclosed 7.5 year. And then we'll get to reviewing y'all stuff. Bland's is good, but it ain't that special. My hometown bar has it on the shelf, $10 a pour. You're seeing a lot more Blantons around and available now. I mean, heck, they even gave us a pick, right? We had one in the last drop. Hey, it was really good too. I keep going back to it. First time I tried it, I was like, this is fine. It's just a Blanton's. It's a pretty good barrel of Blanton's. But you're right in that Blanton's is not meant to be. I mean, they would say this is not some unicorn bottle, right? We're not pushing what kind of D tier. The D tier whiskey we're pushing here is Circle City. So somebody just go ahead and ban that person. We don't do a lot with Seal Box. I don't know. I mean, I don't know much about it. I know who they are, but I'm not a fan nor, you know, a proponent of it. That's a little dustier. I mean, Slick will sign up for a new account. He'll be back. He'll be back stronger and better. You know, here's the thing about folks like that. This is the thing, and I've got a video I'm working on, but you know, to say folks like that don't bother me would be lying. I'd be telling a fib, and I try very hard not to do that. But it's not for reasons they think, right? Because what we try to do here is we try to be positive. We try to be welcoming to folks. We try to be helpful. We try to be entertaining. But ultimately, we want to have a positive impact. We want to have a positive impact on the folks that watch. We want to have a positive impact on the brands that we find that are doing cool stuff and trying to make good product. We want to have a positive impact on the liquor stores we find that are doing cool stuff. And, you know, ultimately, when it's all said and done, we want to be positive. Like we want to be helpful. We want this to be a good thing, all this effort that we've put into this. And you see people that don't appreciate it, don't like it, like put a lot of effort into coming into comments and into live streams, set up an account, use my last name on the name of the account, like come up with some slick nickname and like put a lot of effort into it. And so for some reason or another, that person has a lot of vitriol, a lot of hate. And it's like, you know, it's not like, okay, well, there are just negative people. That happens. But also, you know, it has me reflect on what we do and how we represent ourselves and are we being the most positive we could be? And we can't get everything right. I mean, there's negative consequences to anything that works, but I don't know. I don't understand it, man. I don't understand why the world in general has to lean so hateful. I don't understand why people have to be so hateful and why we can't just, you know, find our circle. And, you know, maybe this is not your circle. Maybe you don't want to be here, but like go find your, like don't spend so much effort trying to tear our circle down. Go find your circle, right? I don't know. I don't get it, but all good. Tim Lewis says, don't mind getting bottles. Don't like being blocked from lives. Bobby, can trains to let you sample the Mississippi Sippers Hazmat Toasted Pecan release is scheduled for, what? Can trains to let you sample the Mississippi Sippers Hazmat Toasted Pecan release is scheduled for this fall? I don't understand what you're saying, Bobby. Jack, brand new to bourbon hunting. Is there an app that you would recommend to help? My list on notes is getting too long. A lot of people here like Only Drams. I haven't tried it. I don't really know. We are working on our own, but we're very slow about it. That's all I can say. We'll get there eventually, but we'll release it when it's ready. We got a lot going on, and unfortunately, that one's moving slow. Jay Will with the super chat. First super chat, Jay Will. If you had a message, tag me. You didn't put the message in there. Big Haste, thank you for teaching me more about bourbon and can't wait to try the Old Dom and Old Soul I ordered. You're going to really like those for sure. If you got an Old Soul, I'm assuming you got the J-Rock blend, which is, I think, in my opinion, the best Old Soul we've released so far. And then the Old Doms are fantastic. Cash, weekly shout out for Big Creek, come back to North Georgia. I think Will just went over there a couple of weeks ago. So he was telling me they were hanging out. He was like, "Can I write this off? Can I put this on the company card?" I was like, "Dude, no, buy your own drinks." I don't know about Utah. So are you 20 proofers losing our spot in the drops? No. I don't understand. Like, no, absolutely not. I don't know. Maybe there's some confusion there. We definitely need to clear that up, Seth. Found Frey Ranch in Springfield, Illinois this weekend. Nice. I'm glad you liked it. Proof Chaser, I got an Old Dom pick, 7-year, 137 proof. I don't know if I've seen it that high. 7-year Old Dom, 137 proof. I don't think I've seen it that high either. A local store in Columbus got a Weller full proof pick, and EAWG came and showed out. Nice. Spiteful, got my first OESV barrel strength tier 6. So good. Love those Four Roses barrel proofs. All right, we're going to try a little something different here. Let me get Bobby there. We are finishing shipments of aging the Hazmat Toasted Pecan this fall. I got you. Well, I'd look forward to giving that a try. Nashville, best whiskey community online is Brewzle crew, from newbies to veterans. All are welcome. Love the positivity. I appreciate that. I mean, that's what we're aiming for. Unfortunately, some folks don't love it. All right, we are going to hit some Irish whiskeys now, top of the hour. We're going to check some comments. Now that I'm not in the mood, I hope there's no hateful comments. We are going to start with Proper 12 right here. Alpine Distilling, Park City, Utah. All right. I was in Park City, Utah. I didn't make it to any distillery. We were just spending some time with the family there not too long ago. So we're going to start right there with a little Proper 12. Ooh, okay. Now, it's been a while. Let's try some comments while we do that. Looks like my backdrop's stuck here, but it'll be all right. Let's see if I can figure out how to do this real quick. Okay, I got a button here, I think, that takes me to the comments. Boom, there's a comment. Super chat will go away there. All right. Okay, so what is this comment here? This was on the Fallon, Nevada hunt. This was from, is that Squite Eastwood? Squite Eastwood. We'll go with that. Went to a Mexican restaurant and bought a brand new bottle of Michter's 10 for, how do you buy a 10-year, like that's, how do you get a 10-year bottle for under MSRP at a Mexican restaurant? Like this guy's unlocked new levels of bourbon hunting I've never seen in my entire life. Anybody here ever got a bottle of whiskey from a Mexican restaurant? In the chat, anybody ever got one from a Mexican restaurant? Cameron, drinking a Frey Ranch pour, loving it. Thanks for putting me on it. It's fantastic. Daniel has got, he says this all the time. Yeah, I mean, it may be a cap. That might be. But like maybe they just didn't know what they had. They priced it like a normal Michter's. I don't even know. That's crazy. Just remember, hate says something far more. It does. I just don't, like, I don't understand it, man. Why put that much energy into hate? That makes, I got chips, salsa, and a $100 bottle of Michter's. All right, let's see if this, we're gonna see if the first time I've ever pressed this button. That didn't work at all. Oh no. Okay, maybe this one. Yep, there we go. I was pressing the wrong button. DC 632A just won the Maine Spirits Lottery, winning a bottle of Van Winkle 10 for 12. That's what you're supposed to be getting Van Winkle 10 for, right? $129 freaking dollars. S. Meyer says, is the OFC calling your name open me? I've opened one. I've had one of somebody else's bottle. And it is I do kind of want to open it. I'm gonna be honest with you. All right, so Proper 12 review right here. I like it about 1,000 times better than the first time I tried it. It's just a caramel bomb, low proof, easy to drink. I appreciate it much more now than I would have before. It's not something I'm probably coming back to, but also not something I hate. Not something I hate. We had an infinity blend. I don't know where I put it. Oh, there it is. We're going to infinity blend this on out. All right. Is there a particular Irish whiskey? We may just use the same blends on these. I'm not judging them that harshly, right? Oh, those short barrels behind me, all those short barrels are fantastic. All right, so Green Spot. Anybody like Green Spot? What's the next comment? Jesus Christ, that's long. Russell's 13 for 400. Tony Minutes for blah, 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 blah. Next comment. That one was long. Got to find some of that steak collection. Nobody gonna tell me who's looking right at it on the shelf. This does happen. This does happen sometimes when we're bourbon hunting. See, the thing people don't realize, I get asked this a lot. You roll into a liquor store with a full camera crew. No, dude, I have the camera. I'm talking to the camera. I'm talking to the guy in the store. I'm talking to somebody. Like I'm doing a lot, and sometimes I miss bottles. Like it happens. Sometimes I just roll right on by them. Redbreast 15. We have a Redbreast 15 right here. We're going to get to in just a minute. Christopher Brown. We are going to get to that one. Ooh. Christopher Brown says favorite pour so far is Redwood Empire Lost Monarch Cask Strength. Was that him that just said Redbreast? Oh no, skip it or sip it. Sorry, Jake. I'm sorry, Jake that said that. That Lost Monarch Cask Strength's really good. Yeah, love I just got the weeded Redwood Empire as well on a recent hunt. Looking forward to trying that one. Eric Nunez, cheers. Grateful for the fantastic comment. Would you ever head out to Los Angeles for a bourbon hunt video? We've kind of done a little bit in the area. We haven't been in Los Angeles proper, but yes, absolutely. At some point, would love to get out there. But yeah, sometimes we miss things. Sometimes I miss things I'm looking for. Lots of times it's great to have somebody with me because I'll walk right by bottles and they're like, did you see that? And I was like, no, I did not see that at all because I'm trying to do 5 things and I'm only good at half of them. And I don't mean half of the 5 things. I mean just half of one thing I'm good at. My biggest discount that I got on a bottle without even negotiating, Party Source, Jimmy, Kentucky, marked down to $50. Man, they were trying to freaking get rid of that. Sales though, sales are not it's a discount, but like always check the clearance aisle. You never can freaking tell. I need those Penelope Estates. The pricing on everything, the Weller lineup's cheapest bottle was $2.99. Yeah, dude, most of those stores, and somebody commented the other day, I saw this comment, don't profit off of bourbon hunting and then complain about the prices. Watch me, watch me do that. Because I didn't set those prices. Just because I hunt, just because I look for bottles, just because I have a YouTube channel, doesn't mean I want them to mark prices up secondary. I would rather them have given those to regular customers and all those bottles be gone when I got there. And they say, oh, we had them, but we sold them for MSRP to our loyal customers, than for me to just roll in and see them sitting there on the shelf. At least one of y'all got to drink them, right? Damn it. I'm not supposed to like Irish whiskey. That's just apple juice. It's amazing to me how much my tolerance for this type of thing has evolved over the last 2.5 years. Because some of this was downright awful. And we still got quite a few to go to. And some were okay. But it's crazy how pretty decent that is. All right, we're going to go for a couple more comments here. What else we got? I have limited space. I'll take the whole case. Like, if you find a good deal on something you want a bunch of, I think this was on the Fallon hunt. I didn't buy, oh, this was the Jack Daniels twice barrel. In my defense, I only took one of the bottles. Jason took the other two. So, but then yes, I would have found space for them. I would have made that. Uncle Nate has gotten you liking those Isle whiskeys. I don't know if it's him, but that's like both of those are much better than I remember them being. Let's move on to a yellow spot right here. All the Irish whiskey on St. Paddy's Day. I would do an Irish accent, but then they're liable to murder me for that. All apples and pears. And I got that. That's all I got on it. When I tried it before, like that little bit of harshness I get on pot stilled single malts comes through. I'm getting none of that today. Like it's all gone. So I feel like I've drank enough whiskey at this point in my life to numb my taste buds. That's what I feel like I've done. Any barrel picks planned for dark arts? They're none planned. I like the dark art stuff. They haven't been top of our list. I got like freaking yellow spot on my nose there or something from this. They've got good finished whiskey. We haven't made any plans to do that. We need to. Won't even get a buzz. Honestly, with the Irish whiskey, that's why I was willing to try 11 of them, okay? After trying 6 bourbons. That's pretty good too. I like the green spot better though. Is green spot considered higher end than yellow spot, or is yellow spot the higher end? That is 12 years old, so I assume that's the higher end one. I mean, I get the age. I like the apples and pears though. That's good. That's good. I just like this one better. Where are we going now? Y'all tell me when I jump on a bad one. Oh, I forgot to get one. This is the Keeper's Heart Irish American Blend, which when I got was okay. Like that's pretty good. Not something I would go back to, but pretty good. I haven't even opened this one. Oh, I know we had one that was open and somebody took it, and we had 2 for some reason. So I sent one with somebody and kept the one that was unopened. Because I was about to say, we drank some of these. All right, Dan with the 1-month membership. Appreciate it. Just found out Paddy's Irish Whiskey is a Sazerac product. Sazerac owns everything, man. If they don't, they're going to pretty soon. J-Rock, I need to jump on some of these spots. Dude, they're pretty freaking good. Keeper's Heart, Irish American. All right, what's the next comment? Smoke Wagon, Private Barrel, Desert Magic Rye, very good bottle. They want a $225, but also Peerless Double Oak for $85 is nuts. Like that's $130, $40 at the distillery. I feel like we need to curate comments that are a little more short and sensational. Brewzle's first product becomes a single malt. This was on the Southern Distilling video. If I could get barrels of that single malt, I would 100% release that single malt. 100%. Like no questions about it. Wouldn't be the first product, but we would be bottling up those single malts. Because it was not like he treated it like a bourbon. It's column distilled. It's in a new oak barrel. I'm almost guaranteeing you. I didn't ask that, but it tasted more like a bourbon than a single malt. Have we set dates for Brewzle Fest? Yes, Brewzle Fest will be Blazing Star Barbecue in the chat. Brewzle Fest will be September 20th. So we're going to do it September 20th. And hey, hit me up, Blazing Star there. We did a thing Friday night beforehand. We had some hibachi. We might have a conversation if you're interested about doing some barbecue for all of the exhibitors and stuff the night before. Or maybe, I think, if I'm not mistaken, you had talked about maybe doing something at the festival too. So Dublin was a dump. I didn't say that. I didn't say it. This one it's still good, but it's got a little more of that harsh, like single malt flavor than the other 3 did. So I'm a little more in love with the other ones than this, But honestly, that flavor is not as awful to me as it once was. All right, what do we think about Silkie? I don't know, Black Label Silkie. I don't know anything about it. Oh, talking about so y'all let me know. He's talking about, like, we went into some nerdy stuff. So when we go to some of these distillery tours, if they're nerdy, we get nerdy. I like nerdiness. Because when we were there, he asked me, Pete at Southern Distilling asked me, he's like I shouldn't go too technical. And I was like, no. Our audience is not dumb. They may be uneducated, but they're not dumb. And so, let's talk about how it works, and educate folks on how it works. And so I think being a little nerdier about them is a little cooler. Oh no, that smells awful. Oh no. Now we're getting into stuff I don't like. The Brewzle Fest tickets should go for sale in April. We're trying to wait to get past Spillway on the first week of April before we put those on sale. Yes. Oh, no. That tastes more like a Scotch. Product Iron. That tastes like a Band-Aid. That is exactly what I remember from Scotch and Irish whiskey. I'm not putting that in my Infinity blend. I'm going to have to get a fresh Glencairn on that. That is awful. That's the first awful one. The first awful one. Love to see it experiment. We wouldn't see the results for years. Be cool to see. Take the same batch of distillate and barrel it up all the same. Then send barrels. So we might try some stuff like that. Like we are working on our own DSP, our own distillery license. We are supposed to be closing on a building this week. As long as everything goes smoothly, and it seems to be, we're supposed to have a building by this weekend. Now, I'm going out of town next week. Not a lot going to happen then. But within the next few weeks, you should see a video about the building that we are buying, as long as everything goes smooth this week. And then we're, really for the first couple of years, all we're going to do are experiments with our distillate. Tom says, happy St. Patty's Day from Rochester, New York in the house. Drinking a pour from Rotten Little Bastard located in Beaufort, South Carolina. Coosa Cut, straight bourbon cash strength. Sounds interesting. I don't think I've ever had anything from them. Brian says, how are you on the barrel-aged beers? Dude, I sat down yesterday and I had a Goose Island stout, bourbon barrel-aged. And I used to love those, and I still love them. I still love it's rich, it's thick, it's a syrup. I don't want much of it, but they just give me a headache these days with all that sugar. So I tend to like the lighter ones. And so I'm a big fan. Like the ones we did for the festival last year were really, really good that Red Clay did for us. Okay, this Silkie a little better. A little better. Still not a fan. Not a fan of that. That's still going to cost me a new Glencairn here. From Europe, and we'll be visiting Florida. Love single malts. All right, so if you had $250, if y'all had $250 and you had 6 bottles, what would you pick? And you were headed to Florida. So I know most of you probably won't know Florida's distribution. Writer's tears here. But if I were in Florida, I would grab from overseas, I would grab as much Buffalo Trace stuff as I could, get an Eagle Rare, get a Buffalo Trace. We're going to be, what, $70 right there with those two, if you can find them. I did find quite a bit of Eagle Rare in Florida last week and Buffalo Trace. Buffalo Trace was $28-ish. Most of the Eagle Rare was marked up, though. Weller's is not something you can grab. Stag is going to be something that's kind of hard to come by. I did get a Stag last week. Funny thing is, out of all the hard to find allocated Buffalo Trace, Stag Junior is the one I find the most of. I bought one for $80-something somewhere, where was I? I was a little south of Fort Lauderdale, I think. Get some Benchmark, some 13 Cali, but they didn't have any of the cask strength when I was down there, which is what I would want. I'd probably grab, that's tough because it's got to be something you can get, right? maybe a Baker 7 in that benchmark profile. I don't think Crittenden's is down there as far. I did see quite a bit short barrel, a lot of bee's knees down that area. So probably some Old Forester stuff, maybe Whiskey Row Series, a double oak. Because but the thing about like Whiskey Row Series, double oak, they may sell those over there, right? Those are big enough brands to be distributed overseas. So that is a tough question. I hope you have a Deep Pockets and Investor. Their sales pitch is really nice, which means it's going to be expensive. There's a reason they can sell you a GED liquor at a profit. Aged liquor at a profit versus them creating multiple brands themselves. This is an interesting comment right here. This is funny because one, true story. If you are going to start a whiskey brand right now, you need Deep Pockets and an investor. He's 100% right, but he's also wrong. You need it, but you need it because the scale of whiskey is tough, and you need to be making whiskey years before and housing it. And you don't know how much you need, so you've got to do projections, and you got to buy a bunch of it. So he's right from that perspective. He's wrong from there's a reason why they can sell you aged liquor at a profit versus them creating multiple brands themselves. Creating a brand is hard. It requires a lot of different things, marketing, sales, a bunch of different stuff. They built their business from the ground up to service those brands. And so building a brand is hard, but also they can sell you aged liquor at a profit because they had Deep Pockets and or an investor. I don't know if they had investors, but like they've been making a lot of whiskey for a long time. It is cheaper for me to have them make whiskey and them age it for me than it is for me to have them make whiskey and me age it, or for me to make whiskey and age it because of their scale. So you need Deep Pockets and an investor, but it's also cheaper to work with somebody like that than it is to actually make it yourself. I'm just dumb enough to want to make it myself. The Toasted Goat, love your videos. They are great. Thank you, Goat. I appreciate it. This actually smells really nice. This Writer's to Your Copper Pot. Oh, see, now we're getting back into it. Now we're getting back into like pear, like a lot of pear on that. This one I felt was much more apple forward with a little pear undertone. And this is like pear forward with an apple undertone. They're like yin and yangs here. We're trying all the Irish whiskeys that I own. And we are 7 in, and only 2 of them have sucked. Really, only 1 of them have sucked really bad. Newer to bourbon out here to Oregon, really enjoy Buffalo Trace products. What's the best way to find allocated bottles? Well, you're in Oregon, so they have an app. Go around store to store. That's going to be your best bet there. I mean, great thing is you're state run, right, or state controlled distribution. And so everything is price controlled in Oregon. We found Blanton's, we found some different things. Realistically, your best bet out there is to use the app to your advantage, but build a relationship with a store owner. I would find one store close to you that sells a lot of whiskey and have them just get on their list, have them call you. We were out there in Oregon recently. We filmed a couple of videos. I talked to a bunch of stores. A bunch of them didn't make the video, where almost all their allocated stuff just goes to regulars. They got a list, they call them, and when they get bottles in and people come and pick them up. That's going to be your best bet. This is double oaked Writer's Tier. So they took all that pear and they put it in another oak barrel. What's a good beginner bourbon under $50? Evan Williams Bonded, Wild Turkey 101, Benchmark, Top Floor, Foolproof, any of those. Please tell me that you're going to offer, okay, they're talking about the Southern Distillery single malt. Really good, best single malt I've ever had. We will be offering that, but only at the distillery. So we're going to go do a distillery takeover. We're trying to nail down a date. It'll be sometime this summer, probably, almost guaranteed. And we're gonna do the pick. They're gonna let us try a few barrels. We're gonna do the pick there. They're gonna bottle it up that day. So We will not be able to get one to the club, unfortunately, because there's only one that they'll allow us to have. Where's the courage and conviction? Where is that? That's a good question. Oh, it's up there. It got put in the wrong place. I got to get it down. I missed that one. Well, that's an American single malt, though. That's not an Irish. This is St. Patty's Day. We're trying the Irish whiskeys. So, trying Irish whiskeys. After watching the process, I feel guilty that my part is just picking a label, paying for it, and drinking it. Understand that. I'm going to get through these. I got 3 more to try, and then we're going to start rating your selections. Surely I have Shanky's Whip. I do, but it's not in here. It's in yonder somewhere. This one is, I don't think I like it as good as just it's normal. This one, the kind of malty things I don't like about Irish whiskey come through stronger on the double oaked than they do on the normal Writer's Tears. All right, so I'm gonna kick back to this. Maybe we curate better comments. Maybe we give a little more context, but y'all let me know if y'all like that, just reviewing comments on videos, or if you don't. If you don't, we won't do it again. Well, I mean, just one of you say, no, I can't go on that. But as a consensus, as a general thought, if y'all like that, good. If not, how do I get my selection judged? Seth right there is your man in the chat. It won't happen this video, but we had some folks submit. And right now we are trying Bushmills 12. You like the comment review? As long as they pick good comments, I think that could be interesting. And this rate your selection, we're going a little more manual than I want because I got about halfway through setting it up, but I think it's going to be fun too. Ray, hope you bring me as much luck at Spillway as you did the Liquor Depot drop in Tampa a couple weekends ago. Ray, was it you that won it was the Van Winkle or the George T. Stagg? I forget which one. I think you took the Van Winkle, right? Was that you that won that one? Because I don't have that kind of luck. He won it. So that was a good time. We had a blast. I hate that I didn't win, but I'm glad you did. If I would have won, we'd have gave it away anyway, but found a large selection of Pappy and Lodi. I'm assuming it was for secondary. Oh, that's okay. I was about to say it's mediocre. It got better. Yeah, still not a fan of that. Not a fan of that. I'm having to get more Glens. Alex, how do you organize the bottles behind you? A little bit random. So we wanted to put, for better or worse, we wanted to put some unicorns right here behind us. So, because that catches people's attention and you say, oh, he's got a bunch of unicorns. And then behind us are just smaller, other than the unicorns to grab your attention, everything behind us is smaller producer that we do stuff with or we enjoy. Like, not all of them are stuff we do something with. Like, I can go through several of these and we've never done a pick or anything, but these are here, are just, they're by Distillery, but they're just 2 shelves of small producer stuff, because that's what we're really about. Like, we'll use the show cards and then we try to get you with our whole cards here, right? All right, so Redbreast PX. When are we giving away the OFC? I think the first attempt, so what we've developed is a game show. And the game show is going to give you an opportunity to win a lot of bottles of whiskey. I mean, you're going to win 1 bottle of whiskey, but you can start small and work your way up to the OFC. We are going to give the first contestant our first rough run through 2 weeks from tonight on the live stream. So the last Monday of this month, we are going to run the game show for the first time. Make sure you are in the selection newsletter. If you are a patron, you're already entered, but if you're in the selection, that gives you another entry as well, right? So your patron membership matters a little more than the selection, but it doesn't hurt to have as many opportunities as you can get, right? So we are going to be trying to pick that person next week that is going to have the first shot, and they may get it, they may not. Like, they may win it, it may just roll over, and then every so often we'll fire up some more people. Like, we'll probably do it then we may wait a few weeks till we learn and get a little better and try to improve the game, and then, you know, just continuously keep getting better and continuously giving people opportunity to win rare whiskey. We may not always have an OFC if somebody wins it, but we're always going to have something rare. Like, they're going to start with a benchmark, and they're going to work their way through Stag Juniors and, you know, the lower end Van Winkles and a 15 all the way to the OFC. Yeah, Matt, just drop that Redbreast PX right there. S. Meyer says, will there be a double Eagle Rare at Spillway? I doubt it. I very seriously would doubt that. I missed a couple here. Carl says, I wished I would have known you were in Spokane, went to the most expensive stores we have. I mean, that sucks. I still did pretty good, though. But those, we asked some recommendations in Discord, and those were the stores that were recommended. But yeah, Double Eagle, S. Meyer's almost guaranteed no. They don't get that level of allocation. The goat, the toasted goat, have you had the 12-year tin cup? I don't think so. No, have not had it. Now we're getting back to being good. Man, that's really nice. I remember liking this the first time I tried it. I like it a lot more now. Like, I got a small pour. We might have to get a little more here. But you're right. You're right. I'm 10 pours deep of Irish whiskey, and I feel like I've had 3 bourbons. That's good. That's a little more like well-rounded caramel. Man. And then my last Irish whiskey before we start rating your selections is a 15-year Redbreast. Dan with his first super chat. Dan, you didn't put the message in there. Tag me. You don't have to super chat again. I will be on the lookout for it, and I will try to find it. Robert says, have a South Florida video in the works. Yes, we bourbon hunted Tampa, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, down to the start of the Keys. It'll probably be, I was hoping 3 videos. It'll probably be 2, because the Miami area was just, that was rough. That was rough shopping there. Matt saw right after I clicked. I understand. Okay. Honestly, I may like this one a little better tonight. That's tough though. These are really close. I do not have anything from Rebecca's Creek. All righty. Let's get these out of here. I'm going to try the Old Dominick Master Blender stuff while we rate your selections. But out of these Irish whiskeys I had tonight, honestly, that Green Spot, really good. I really like that Green Spot. That PX Sherry Cask, Redbreast, also really, really exceptional to me. Those are the 2 that I was kind of feeling the most this evening. But y'all let me know what your favorite Irish whiskey is. I really probably need to start hunting a little more Irish whiskey, as much as I like some of these. But some of them too, like, ooh, which one was it? Was it one of those Writer's Tears? It was just like, ooh. We haven't even had a professional rinse this evening. Could have showed me the ropes in Sarasota. Well, I hate that I missed you. Noble 6, how you liking the Cummins? Dude, absolutely love it so far. Only when I get into small parking lots in South Florida do I realize how little it turns. But I love the engine. I love the setup. I love the interior. The infotainment system just kind of does what it wants to do most of the time if you're on long road trips. Other than that, it's been great. Marcos, thanks for the awesome time at Papa's Pilar. Club is going to love the barrel picks. We got some exceptional stuff from Pilar's. We got 2 rums, a rum finished in rye and a rum finished in port barrels, I think it was. And then we got a rye finished in a rum barrel. Overall, really cool place, really good time. Got some good picks. All right, let me grab these Old Dominick Master Blenders, tell y'all what those are real quick, and then we will get to rating your selections. All right, so again, Old Dominick Master Blender. We love Old Dominick, and the reason we love Old Dominick is, 1, they make a good whiskey. 2, they're also open to our really dumb ideas. We have a lot of what most people would say are stupid ideas. I say, very clever and original, you know, but they are a little dumb. And so I hit up old Dominick and I was like, we've got this thing. And we're gonna do it, like if we get our distillery license, we're gonna do it with or without you. But I'm not patient enough. And at that time, because we did this, like when we started planning this was before we bought the distillery in Kansas. This was before we were talking about getting the building. Like we thought it might be years before we have our own place. So reached out to them and was like, let's do this at your place if you're interested. We're going to bring up 3 patron members. We're going to allow them to pick ingredients, single barrel, some finished products, different things. They're going to blend 5 barrels. We're going to have some judges judge, and the top 2, we're actually going to do a blend and have them bottled. And these are the top 2 blends. The video for this releases on the channel tomorrow. So tomorrow, y'all will be able to see exactly what goes down. And we've got blend number 1 and blend number 2. This is number 2 here, number 1 right here. And this was some of the most fun we've had. We learned some things to do it a little better next time. Like we didn't get it quite perfect, but my goodness, did they create some exceptional whiskey. Like some really different off-profile old Dominick. Something you're never gonna see again right here. And we released these bottles in our Patron whiskey release this weekend. There are still some available. I think they may be public. I don't know. Seth can tell you otherwise. But you know, they're available at Brewzle Picks whenever they go public. They may not go public till tomorrow. Your credit score. Just started watching your videos. Love the content. If you had only $500 to start a small home bar collection, what would you recommend? We're actually working on some content around that, and we're going to talk about that here in just a minute when I start rating selections. $500, like, you know, buy some of the what you want is a well-rounded bar, right? And so you want some of the Buffalo Trace Tater bottles, whatever you can get, some Weller, some Stag, some E.H. Taylor, some Eagle Rare. You want those bottles, a Van Winkle if you can get it. But you also want to try some of the other Kentucky legacy stuff. You want a Wild Turkey 101, a Wild Turkey 8-year that they're about to drop, a 12-year export, or, you know, maybe some of the Russell's 10, Russell's single barrel, something like that. You want some Heaven Hill stuff. You want a Henry McKenna 10. You want an Evan Williams Bonded, which is a good cheap bottle. You want to try some different Elijah Craig expressions, some of the rare stuff if you can. You want some Four Roses, single barrel, barrel proofs. You want those different types of bottles, but then you also want some high proof, Wild Turkey Rare Breed, Old Granddad 114, a Baker's 7 and 107 proof, some of those mid proof stuff. So I want a blend of legacy Kentucky. I want high proof, I want low proof, I want mid proof. I want some craft stuff mixed in. So you want to try some different craft, whatever floats your boat. I'm not talking about anyone in particular. It could be Old Dominick, could be Frey Ranch, it could be, you know, Crittenden's. Like there's so many different craft brands. Like you find the ones that speak to you. Some non-distilling producer stuff, right? Like Short Barrel in places like that. You want toasted barrels and double oaks. You want finished whiskey. So some of the Starlight stuff that they're doing. Good times, maybe, maybe not, depending on whether or not you want heavy finishes. But you need a well-rounded bar, so you want to kind of mix and match any of those that fit within your budget. Michael says, what do you think your favorite Miami store was? I didn't have a store in Miami I liked at all. Fort Lauderdale, there were a couple. I'd have to look up what they were, though. There were a couple we went into that were kind of cool. Let's see. I'm going to see if I can find them real quick. So day 2 in that area. And you'll see when you actually see the video, but Primo Liquors and Big Daddy's, which is a chain, but we went to Big Daddy's on West State Road. Is that what that is? West State Road 84. Those were the ones that really stood out from that area. And I'm sure there's some good ones. We just didn't find them, right? Nevada Johnny, just watched your Las Vegas video. You had mentioned local bourbon. I was wondering if you've tried Two Bitch Bourbon. It's a Nevada brand. Yes, we did a promo with them where we sold like a bundle pack from them with all the proceeds going to the local Humane Society here. And it was kind of funny. We had somebody who was apparently a vet that was a patron, got very upset at us because apparently using the word "two bitch" really upsets vets. I don't know. He said it was juvenile, it was not funny, and I thought that was actually like the clinical term for a female dog. And these people were big dog people, and they named the brand after the fact that they have 2 dogs, and all the proceeds went to the Humane Society. Yet a vet in the patron was mad. So I have heard of them, and I have made a vet very mad by supporting them. Novak, any plans to hunt the Chicagoland area? Yes, nothing definitive, but it is on our list to try to get to this year for sure. All right. I thought there was no reason to get upset either, but I was like, maybe we did something I don't know. I didn't think that was this big of a deal. I thought it was funny. I thought it was a funny name. All right, so this is, we're going to be in New England. We're trying to get up there this summer. Kylo, trying to get up there. All right. Blend number 2 is our finished whiskeys. So a lot more like mocha, kind of soft oak tannins on it. This one's all on my arm now. That one's sweet with a nice rye spice to it. Y'all have to try this, because ultimately with these blends, you buy it, it's got a QR code on the back of it right here, which I'm not going to show you. I don't want y'all scanning it without getting the bottles. If you get them, you try them, you get to vote, and you get to ultimately determine the winner. So let's get to rating some of y'all's selections. I'm about 6 minutes behind on getting started on this. What we're going to do here is we are going to look at photos of bourbon selections or collections, if they send them, and we are going to talk about what they have and what areas we think they should fill. What bottle should they go buy next? 500, not 5,000. I didn't say buy all of them. Like, these are the things, and you pick one in each, right? Richard Nixon, I deported the guy that was mad about the 2B. I feel like I missed a super chat. Maybe I didn't. Curious how your e-com business earnings have helped the Brewzle brand. I mean, I don't think the e-commerce, because even with our e-commerce side of things, I didn't get involved. I let Will handle it. I let Shred handle it. I have my responsibilities here, and it's not the e-commerce side of things as far as merch and stuff goes. Believe me, it'd be a little better and we'd be a little further along, but it's not the main focus of what we're doing. So the business side, like just owning a business for my entire adult life, like I've never had an adult job. I started my business in college, and it was a bad idea. I'd have made a lot more money. I'd have done a lot more. I would have been a lot more successful had I just went and got a job. But I learned a lot about how businesses work and how you have to structure them and how it has to function. That has helped us structure this to do the level of stuff we're doing, right? And it really boils down to just, with business, you want to work yourself out of a job at all times. You find what you're good at and what you're not good at, and you find somebody that's good at the things you're not good at. And so I'm not good at editing, so we found somebody that can edit. We're not good at this, we find people that can do it. So like those types of things, really helpful when it comes to content. All right, let's try this. Okay, y'all can still hear me. This is Jason Helmstadter. All right, so let's look at Jason Helmstadter's selection here. Now we are going to try to do a little bit of zoomy zoom here. Ooh, this is working surprisingly well. I'm going to screw this up. I'm just going to let y'all know, okay? We're going to screw this up somehow or another. What we got up in the top left corner? Okay. So he is a Jim Beam fan. I see little books up there. I see some Bookers. I think that's one of the special edition Bookers there. Old Fitz, Russells. The little books are not open, but he looks like he buys several, and he opens some, and he doesn't open others, which is cool. That's cool. Like, have backups, right? So what do y'all think of this selection? Russell's, Little Book, Master's Keep, Turkey 12. What I'm seeing so far is a bunch of Maine, Kentucky producer stuff. Copper and Cask. I don't know too much about that whiskey there. But a Little Starlight looks like, okay. I mean, obviously in Brewzle's Patron, that looks like a Crittenden's release, a Bee's Knees, a Detling. So most of the craft stuff that is owned here is actually just barrel picks from us, which is cool. Like selection-wise, this is a great group of drinking whiskey, right? Like, oof, I messed that up. A great group. Jason's got a great, oh, I didn't even look at the other bar over there. What'd I do? I didn't look over here. I think these are two pictures. Okay, so now we got some Holiday. Some Russells, some Peerless. See, I was about to say some dumb stuff. Little Jack 10s, Kentucky Owl, Magna Cigar Blend. Fortaleza, a little more well-rounded over here. Whiskey Row Series, Dark Art stuff. Overall, actually a fairly well-rounded whiskey selection. Like pretty well-rounded. Great looking as well. I like the kind of brick. I don't know if that's like the sheet brick, but the gray looks really good with the barrel, the little bar. All in all, really nice. I think it's leaning a little too heavy into Maine, Kentucky producer. I think you need a little more craft stuff. And you've got like some of the craft stuff I've vetted, right? Like you've got some of the stuff that I've went out and found and I like. And that's respectable. That's understandable that you would wait and let me look at it and see that it's good. And if I like it, you give it a try. But like, I think there's room here for more small producer stuff. And that could be anybody, right? And we'll do more small producer barrel picks, but I would say go to a local liquor store, venture out a little bit. I think there's room for more barrel picks. I think there's room for more finished whiskey, although I did see the dark arts over there, and room for a little more craft. Overall, though, dude's got all the good drinking whiskey. Every single bit of it. Every single bit of the good drinking whiskey. So I'm going to assume Jason lives in Kentucky. That's my assumption. He's definitely got access to all the good whiskey. The absent viewer says, is High West cash strength worth it for $58.99 before tax? I would think so. I've got some cash collection stuff from them that was really good. I think they're single barrels though. I don't know if I've had just straight cash strength. The single barrels I've had have actually been really, really good. Mihelio, didn't put a message in. Tag me over there. Somebody let me know if I miss it, because I'm going to be reviewing this next selection here in just a second. But appreciate the support. Appreciate the super chat. If you missed your message, feel free to just tag @Brewzle over there, and I will try to take a look at it. All right, let's see if I can. Oh, I got to figure out how to do this. Hold on. Right there. Okay. We are going to go back one right there. Look at there. Look at there. Look at there. Would you look at that? Okay. This is two photos of some sort of cabinetry. All right. Starting the top left, we'll work our way down here. Hopefully this doesn't get y'all seasick. Okay. Whose was this? This was Jason. All right, so Jason has a lot of Michter stuff. I love the fact, look at that William LaRue right there. That thing is like half empty. I love every bit of seeing that right there. I'm going to assume that he's in Wisconsin. Big fan of the J. Henry stuff, and probably friends with Seth, which is what got him on this stream. Got some High West Barai, big High West fan. Got the 16-year-old OGD. Weller Products, another stacked cabinet. A little more well-rounded than the last one, though. That's one thing I like about it, is a little more well-rounded. Stag Juniors, got the Russells. Like, he's got good Kentucky stuff, but also good craft. Also seems to be a man that, like, once he figures out what he likes, he buys all of them. Right? You've got some Middle West, you've got Dark Arts, you got Ben Holliday's, Penelope stacking up back there, Old Dominick, Jack's for Days, but then some, some Pepper, Jamesy Pepper decanters, Larceny. That's all Old Forester single barrel proofs down there? Jeez, this man bought an entire barrel worth of that. So overall, really well-rounded. Other than the dark, okay, there we go. Other than the dark art stuff, though, not a lot of finished whiskey. I think that's where he could probably lean into it a little more, unless there's some behind that we can't see. I think this is a very, very great balanced. You've got like super high-end stuff. You've got some mid-tier stuff. And then you've got a ton of like available craft. Maybe a little too much of the same. Like that might be too many Larceny barrel proofs or Old Forester single barrel proofs. Like free up some shelf space for a little more variety there. But like honestly, there's no hate on that selection whatsoever. That's fan-freaking-tastic. Lord have mercy. What do y'all think about that one? Same name as first picture. If it's same name as first picture, that's my fault. I had to go through and put the names on these, and I was in a hurry. I probably copied and pasted the same name. Not the same guy. I can look and see what the names were, but I apologize. Let me get the names right. Let me see if I can do that. I'm gonna see if I can get the names correct real quick. Because I was rushing. That's what happens. That's what happens when you're in a hurry. Let's see. Seth sent that to me somewhere. I don't know where he sent it to me. Did he send it to me down here? Nope, didn't send it to me down here. Did he send it to me I'm in Slack right now trying to figure out what we're doing. Nope. Video production, maybe? Nope, don't see it. Anyway, sorry, I messed up somebody's name. I can get my laptop out. I'm gonna get my laptop out. We're gonna get the name right. I hate somebody submitted, somebody got chose, somebody's name got wrong. So let's fix the name real quick, and then we will we'll come back to this. I hate that I got the names wrong. Mahalio, has anyone told you that you look like a young Tank Abbott? Ever do any cage fighting? Well, now we got to pull up Tank Abbott real quick. Because no, nobody's ever told me that. And okay, I mean he a little chunky too. He's not quite as chunky. Actually, he looked like he might have lost some weight. I may be looking at a younger one. We both chunky, and we got really weird beards. So maybe. All right, so hold on. What was I looking at? Okay, the first one was actually Michael Lowell. I messed up Michael's name. That was my fault. And this one was, this one was Jason's, and the first one was Michael's. I apologize, Michael. I'm sorry I got your name wrong, but I was in a rush and I was trying to set this up and I screwed it up, soiled it. The second picture is an AI selection. All right, let's go back and see what we got here. Okay, gonna go back to the first one here. That's the one with the wrong name. I'm gonna change them. Like this is, I'm gonna try to set this up to be a little more elaborate next time, but all right, this is what we got here now. See if I can zoom in. Y'all can see most of that though, right? All right, so we've got a little smaller selection, but it doesn't matter how large the selection. It's all about the motion. It's all about the selection, the variety. So you got 1924, like you got some available stuff. You got some, kind of rare stuff there. Blanton's Gold, Michter's 10, Stags, Weller, Eagle Rare back there, some E.H. Taylor, So nothing on that top shelf is like ultra rare. Like some rare, but not ultra rare stuff. So I think you need to add a little bit of ultra rare, a B tag, something like that, you know, if you can find it. I would probably invest in that. We've got, unless it's down there in jail with the Stags and the Larcenies, or on that, I don't think that's wine on the bottom shelf. Little Blantons. So you need a unicorn, but before you get to the unicorn, I think you got to go more into craft. Like, not enough craft whiskey on this shelf. Not even close. You're all, other than the old Dominick, I mean, Peerless, there's a Peerless there. Technically, that's a small Kentucky producer, but you are all mainstream Kentucky on this. And we need a little more variety than that. So I would prescribe, Dr. Brewzle is going to prescribe, I mean, a lot of folks have had the dark art stuff really good. Honestly, maybe we need to do a barrel pick with dark arts if everybody loves them that much, which I do like their stuff. I would, maybe a little finished whiskey, not a lot of finished whiskey there. Maybe some Starlight finished whiskey. Maybe a little, if you like that mainstream Kentucky, like Paul Sutton's mainstream Kentucky, but it's small brand produced by Bardstown. Let's see, what else? They definitely need a little Crittenton's, a little, we had an old Dominick there. What small producer do they need to go to? I mean, the Southern stuff's pretty good. Got some Holiday. Was there Holiday on there? No been Holiday on there whatsoever. Lord have mercy. But find some, start experimenting with some small producers. And they could be small Kentucky producers, but go craft. This needs some Brewzle picks. I'm assuming that old Dominick right there is a Brewzle pick. That might be the only Brewzle pick, but that's cool. Like, I'm not here to shill picks. I will, and somebody will accuse me of, you know, just being a shill in the comments here in a minute, and we'll just boot them on out of here. But like, it doesn't have to be my pick. We do have a lot of picks coming that would fill this need, but go to the store, get them. Like, it doesn't matter to me where you get them. Just support the small brands. So I think that's what you got to do. Overall, though, dude, you've got a lot of really good whiskey there to drink. Like, that's a great selection. All right, who's next? 3 out of 6 right here. All righty. Let's see if I can zoom in on that. Okay, looks like a good variety here to start with. So, a little Angel's Envy. Not sure what that next one is there. Eagle Rare, Old Hammer, Still Austin's, Weller. See, this is a small but well-balanced selection. Some Whistle Pigs mixed in, Mr. and Mrs. Smith right there. Got the little Jefferson's tasting kit. Honestly, probably leaning a little more craft. Woodford Batch Proof, Montgomery County. Like, I love the variety here. A little bit of everything. I do think there are some things there that are, you know, maybe a little too edgy, but we've got a really good variety. I do think maybe a unicorn or two. Definitely need some unicorn bottles. You do have a Blanton's Gold and a Blanton's Straight from the Barrel, so, you know, some kind of rare stuff. I do think a little more rare stuff would be nice. A little more mainstream Kentucky. Like, it might be a little too much rare Kentucky, like an Evan Williams Bonded or a Turkey 101. I don't see anything like that here. So you've leaned heavily into craft, which I love. If you're going to lean heavy, love it. Absolutely love it. But you buying some stuff like that Lusty Claw right there with the Eagle Topper. I don't know. That's that gold bar up there. I don't think those are. I've tried those. I didn't like them. But Cooper's 100. That's probably your mainstream, middle of the road, affordable Kentucky bottle there. So I like it. I like it, especially seeing how it's very different than any of the selections we've looked at thus far. That gold bar, yeah. The Trader Joe's. Okay, what have we got here? All right. This one's interesting. We'll try to sort. I'm going to do this a little more manual than I want to, and it may continue. So Heaven Hill grain to glass, the wheated, the red one's the best one. Got a Heart Release Makers, Green River Full Proof. So you've got like your Kentucky, like pretty good, but not like super ultra rare Kentucky, but honestly heavy hitters. Like those are all heavy hitters. They're just maybe a little underappreciated heavy hitters. And then Drop the Stag, you got a short barrel. I don't know what, is that a cigar blend? I'm not sure what that is. Pursuit Double Oak, hopefully the Distillery only Double Oak. Could be one of our picks. And then Ben Holiday on the top shelf. Bardstown Wheated right there. Penelope Valencia. Elijah Craig Barrel Proofs. 70th Wild Turkey, E.H. Taylor. Another really well-balanced. So again, you've got some short barrel bee's knees, looks like a couple of honey finishes, a Crittenton's, regular Crittenton's. I think like here you definitely need more finished whiskey. And that last one might have needed it too. You need to try, like you've got the orange, like the VDN Valencia. You've got some honey finishes. I would try to round out with maybe a little more finished whiskey. Definitely need a unicorn or two. You've got the Stag, but like, you know, go ahead and tater out for a few more bottles there. But I love the variety here. Again, that's what's been great to see on these so far, is that everybody has a pretty solid variety. And anybody that's gone really heavy into anything, it's just gone heavy into tater bottles. Nobody's too heavy yet on the craft bottles. Okay, I don't think I need to zoom on this one. All right, Turkey up there, Buffalo Trace, make Heart Release, E.H. Taylor. Peerless, is that a toasted Peerless and a double oaked Peerless? Four Roses Barrel Proof. Again, great variety of stuff. I think you could probably use a little more of everything. Like just scale this up now. You've done great. You got 1792. You've got, what's that? It's not the rare breed. It's the Kentucky Spirit over there. Jack Single Barrel Proof. I think that's Tennessee whiskey, not a rye. Maybe a little rye whiskey here. Maybe that's where we have to lean, right? Not a lot of storage space. I might start like tiptoeing in maybe that Baker 7, you know, if you like that Knob Creek, if you like that Jim Beam profile. Seem to be leaning into double oaks. You got a couple of wheaters there. So I definitely not any finished whiskey on this one other than double oaked. Y'all see any finished whiskey there? I don't see any. Just all Pursuit double oaked, Peerless double oaked, Toasted Barrel, which is a double oaked. So lean into a little more finished whiskey, scale this up. All right, I think that's all that we have. Y'all let me know down in the comments, do you like that? Did we do that well? Could we do that better? Is there a way we could get better in those reviews? Is there something I'm missing on leaving the fishnet on the Blantons? I see that a lot. It's there, it's sexy. Don't you like your Blantons with a little fishnet stocking on it? You know, like leave a little something to the imagination. If you just take the fishnet off, it's just completely naked, and that's not cool, man. Leave the stockings on. What's the best finished whiskey to buy? I like the RD1. So you like, well, I mean, RD1 makes a lot of finished whiskey, right? Like that, the Amberana is the one I have. It just depends on what you're into. I like the Valencia, the VDN stuff. I'm not a fan of maple finish. I'm not a fan of Amberana. So there's a bunch of different ones you could try. A lot of honey finish. A lot of people tend to like those. A lot of the double oak. Some sherry finish, some wine finish stuff. depending on what you're into. I'm trying to think like what finishes have I just been a big fan of. I tend to like finished ryes more than finished bourbons for some reason or another. Cigar blends, cognac or Cognac finished stuff, really good. Penelope Rosé, I wish I'd have bought that. Once I get back from Spillway, it'll be stacked out then, huh? Evernorth is the best finished rye. I need to get some. I talked to them the other day. I got to get up there and do a pick. They're going to let me know when they have some available. Matt, it is a patron only. Our picks go to patron. We try to do a pick every 2 months-ish, 6, 7 weeks, 8 weeks. The Joseph Magna Cigar Blend is incredible. Rio for $100? Yes, that would have been a good deal, Peter. Crenda Cigar Blend is Aces. Nice. The Barrel Seagrass. Yeah. That's, I'm trying to remember all the finishes. It's like several different finishes in one, and I'm trying to remember what they were. Big maple finish fan. Okay, well, there you go. If you like maple finish, then, Penelope Rio is like, that's honey, excuse me, that's honey. I was thinking of the Havana. Sorry, the Havana. The Havana is a maple finish. Good Times does all sorts of weird things with finishes, so that's one that would stand out. I think, isn't it the Widow Jane Decadence? Isn't that a maple, like not maple wood finish, like maple syrup finish as well? Apricot brandy, that's it. Mar finish, Madeira rum, apricot brandy. Good call, Mike'zilla. Those are, I do like that as well, yeah. And if y'all will hang out after this stream, I'm going to jump over onto Discord for the supporter-only hangout. So if you're a member here, or if you are in the Patreon or you've joined the Patreon, then you can jump into Discord. There's instructions there to link your account. If you get it done in time, I'll be hanging out there. I say I'm going to stay over there for about 30 minutes. It's usually an hour and a half. So, and it's a little more conversation back and forth where everybody can ask questions. Huey, next to the OWA, what's your second favorite daily sipper? That's tough, man. For me right now, I'm trying not to, as this channel grows, as what we're doing grows, I'm trying not to overconsume, despite the fact that I tried 20 bottles in this live stream. It was small sips of them. Despite what it looks like on a live stream, I'm trying to consume less. We do a lot of it on video, a lot of barrel picks, a lot of things like that. So I don't technically have a daily sipper, because if we're not filming, we're not reviewing, we're not creating content, I really try to dial back the alcohol consumption just to be safe. And so outside of that though, like what would I come in here and grab the most of? It varies from month to month, from season to season. Ben Holiday, the Weeder especially, I'm gonna drink a lot of that. Whiskey Tree, that high rye I've been blasting through that bottle. But that's something I just discovered lately. So I'll blast through that bottle, I'll get another one, the next one will sit. It's really good, but I'll just move on to something new. You drink a lot, we come back to the fray a whole bunch. A lot of the limited Jack stuff, but that's limited. You're not going to drink that all the time. I'm trying to see, like, what am I just coming in here and grabbing and having a pour of? Rock Hill Farms, absolutely love that. I go through that bottle way more than I should if I have a backup. I'll let it sit until I have a backup, and then I'll drink that one. I love the Wild Turkey 12, which is hard to get. So I'm not giving you any really good available option. Oh, Old Dominick High Rye. Dude, that's like my third bottle of that we got open over there right now. We've been blasting that. So a little bit of everything. Oh, the Thin Mint's coming. Cam, love the video, the hunting videos. Just curious, do you plan on making your way up to Alaska to round out all 50 states? Yes. And I don't want to wait till summer. We won't do it this year. We'll probably get it next year. I want to go bourbon hunting on a snowmobile. That's what I want to do. Probably not going to work, but I don't think there's a concentration of liquor stores close enough. That's going to be my concern with Alaska, right? Is you're going to have to go to like a major city where you probably can't bounce around everywhere on a snowmobile. I just don't know if there's a place where there's like 3 or 4 or 5 liquor stores that I can ride a snowmobile to do the bourbon hunting. That would dog sled. That might be too much. I would come to Canada. I've been to Canada. I went to Canada like January, but we didn't hunt. I didn't have time. I should have. Apparently, there's no bourbon there anymore. Brady, we are not doing an infinity barrel dump tonight. Sorry. I appreciate your first super chat. We will do one. I will not be here next Monday. We will be here the Monday after that. We are going to have a big, big stream. We're going to do a game show where we're going to try to give away an OFC. So I'll try to have something ready to start that stream to dump. We've dumped a lot of stuff in there. It's a mess in there right now. I've been on the road. I just came back, dropped everything in there. We moved a safe in, a little bit of construction going on in there. I can't show that on camera. My wife would kill me. So I appreciate y'all watching. I'm going to jump over to the supporter chat over on Discord. Let me get this last super chat here. VQ Nick is 150 for a Maker's Mark store pick and an E.H. Taylor small batch, a good deal. Doesn't sound like a terrible deal. Most of those E.H. Taylors are getting up to like $70-ish MSRP, I think now. They used to be 50 something. So $80 for a Maker's Mark store pick. I mean, store picks are usually more expensive in general. I don't know what a Maker's store pick goes for because I don't buy a lot of it. Doesn't sound awful. It does sound like they're adding a little bit of a premium on them though. So little markup, not a terrible price for 2 bottles. So appreciate y'all watching all the way to the end. Let me know in the comments if you like some of these new things, the comments, reviewing y'all's selections. We're not going to do it every stream. We're just going to try something a little different. I did surprisingly go back to Irish whiskey and found some I actually really enjoyed. That was a surprise to me. I was not expecting that. I was expecting to try them and continue to not like them. I mean, I liked some of them before, but I really like them now. So I'm evolving. My palate's evolving. You keep that in mind as you're drinking whiskey. I've got my little infinity blend right here. We should try that. That's one of the best pours of the night. That has all the bourbons and the Irish whiskeys in it. That's actually really pleasant. That's the best infinity blend we've ever done. But just keep that in mind. As you grow, as you consume more alcohol, as your palate ages, go back to stuff. Like, that's why you don't pour a bottle out. Keep it around for a little while. You know, a couple of years from now, something that you didn't like, you may absolutely love. That's definitely happened to me a few times. So appreciate y'all hanging out. We'll catch up with y'all later. See y'all in the next one. Tomorrow's video is a big one. Please watch it. Hit the like button. Leave me a comment if you would. We are doing this master blender, and if that video goes well, we'll be able to do more, get y'all access to more stuff like this. So appreciate y'all watching.